Hey friends, welcome back to the Bald Booktuber. My name is Scott. Today is January 22nd, which means it is time for the 22nd video in 22 days. I had initially planned to do a live stream this morning, and that kind of fell through on the plans, but I'm doing this tag quick instead. This is the Booktube Birthday Tag. It's been done numerous times. I will try to find the original and link it in the description. My actual Booktube birthday, I think, is like a week ago today, something like that. But it's close enough, so we're going to roll with it. And we have like 8 or 9 of the prompts to do, so without further ado, let's do that. The first prompt is, how many years on Booktube are you celebrating? And it is my first anniversary as a Booktube creator. I've been a pretty passionate part of the community as a Booktube watcher, commenter, follower of various channels since March of 2020. So it's been about 3 years almost as a consumer, but only the first year as a creator. Prompt number 2, what has motivated you to continue making videos on Booktube? And primarily it is the community, both fellow creators and of course the audience. So I am very grateful to all of you that watch these videos. It is a growing number, which I'm happy to see, and it is always a pleasure to see the comments for each of the videos that I post and be able to respond to them. So thank you for those that are continuing to support the channel in various ways. Additionally, I have this crazy, insane challenge that I've presented to myself, so that is motivation in and of itself as well. Prompt number 3 is to talk about 3 of my favorite videos that I've made. Coincidentally, perhaps it's just a preference, my 3 favorites are all top 10 videos. And the first one I'll talk about is one I made, I think it was last week, and that was the top 10 reasons that I reread books. I'm really proud of that video. I thought that went very, very well, and I got some good feedback on that. I have my top 10 fantasy series, which needs a refresh, but I'm still very happy about that video, and it's done quite a few views in the time that I've been on Booktube since then. That's been about a year ago now. And I guess the third one would be my top 10 audiobook narrators, which, again, could probably use a refresh, but I really, really enjoy that video. Prompt number 4 is, what have you struggled with over the course of the last year in content creation? And for me, it has mostly been a matter of time management. So, figuring out what idea to film, filming it, and editing it is all pretty time consuming for me. I don't have a flow down all that well, so it takes time away from other things that I like to do, like hang out with my wife and read and so forth. So I need to get better with the time management aspect of things. I don't really have a solve for it, other than I've gotten a little bit quicker on editing as I've gone, and a little bit more efficient in that respect. But it still is an ongoing struggle, which has made this 31 videos in 31 days challenge a bit of a struggle. Prompt number 5 is, choose one moment from the past year that you would like to relive. And it could have been really any collaboration with a myriad number of people that have been kind enough to have me on their channels or have visited my channel from time to time. But the one that I would highlight the most is Christopher Rocchio coming on the channel and talking about his top 10 fantasy series. It was very gracious of him to take time out to do that. I know he obsessed over his list, and he's one of my favorite living authors, and to see what types of fantasy series he enjoys reading was just really cool. Prompt number 6 is to shout out one person who has been the biggest champion for your channel, and I can't limit this to 1, so I think I'll limit it to 5. We have Mike from Mike's Book Reviews, has been so gracious. He's had me on his channel so many times. I'm obviously a moderator on his server, and he is always a champion of people subscribing to my channel, watching my channel, these kinds of things. So he's been there since the beginning for me, and I always appreciate him. We have Jimmy over at the Fantasy Network. He was the first person to ever subscribe to my channel before it was a channel, so I always like to call him out. He's someone that watches and comments on my videos and is gracious to me as well, and always has been. Happily a patron of both of those two fine gentlemen. They have great channels. I also would call out Philip Chase, who is amazing and has had me on Dear Dr. Fantasy, which was one of my favorite collaborations I've done. I would call out Madison from Madison Goodyear, one of my closest friends on Booktube, someone I talk to every single day, and is a fellow mod with me over on Mike's channel, and was one of the first people to encourage me to do this crazy thing to get a channel up and going. And then last, certainly not least, we have Joanna from her channel. She is graciously called me out in a specific video where she was calling out new to her channels, as well as including me on this A Song of Ice and Fire read-along panel. So I'm so grateful for everything she has done for me as well. There are myriad other people I could call out, but I'm going to limit it to those 5. Prompt number 7 is, what's the best book you've read in the last year? And that's a little bit challenging and a little bit not. It was my book of the year for 2022, so I'm going to stick with it. And that is Wizard and Glass. That's book 4 of The Dark Tower. Easily the best book in that series for me, not particularly close. Although I did quite like Drawing to the Three and The Wastelands as well. Both were exceptional, but Wizard and Glass just did everything I loved in a book, and it will be one that I will happily revisit someday. So that beat out some great Rockio novels in the Sun Eater universe, as well as some other things that have been amazing this past year. Prompt number 8, where do you see your channel in a year's time? Hopefully double the subscribers and about 4 to 5 times the watch hours. But seriously though, I hope that it is a lot better produced. Hopefully the editing continues to improve. That's a point that I need to continue to improve upon, as well as lighting and sound and everything else. So I will continue to learn and grow and hopefully build out the channel, and people will hopefully continue to follow along and watch it. I appreciate everybody that is doing so and sharing the videos out and liking and subscribing and all that fun stuff. So thanks for everyone who does all that cool stuff. All right, the final prompt here is to tag others whose anniversary is coming up, and I don't know when anybody started on Booktube, but there are a couple channels that I would like to tag here. So first and foremost, I'm going to tag my friend Jack. She is getting into some Booktube tags lately and wanted to be tagged on any that could be interesting for her. So I want to make sure she is on there. And she started around the same time I did, I think. So it should be a good one for her. I'd like to tag Grace over Grace Dion. I really enjoy her channel. I'd love to hear some of these answers from her. Also Ben from Overly Average Ben. It's a channel that I have been enjoying. And one more Ben, Ben over at Bingus Khan. I would love to hear his answers to this as well. So I know this was a super short one. I hope everyone is having an awesome Sunday, or maybe it's Monday, where you are or when you're watching this or whatever day it is. But I hope everybody's doing well. And as always, publication order always, my friends.